Hi, everybody. It's Amanda Herr from Amanda Herr Coaching, and I am so glad to be here with you today on Career Next, the live stream. So, today we are actually going to be talking about what's next. One of the things that, I talk a lot about with my clients is they're in their mid career and they're thinking, what's next? And for a lot of them, it's what's next within the company that they're currently in or their industry of that they're currently in. Or some of them, it's something completely different and they want to transform their talents into something entrepreneurial. Either of those things are amazing and they're great, but they're looking at what's next for them. So the next framework is really there to help women, and it could work for men too, but help women really scale their career in whatever way they want it. The goal really is to help women or empower women to own or control their own careers. And that's where my passion lies. And that's what this next framework does. So without further ado, I'm going to share a presentation so that we can walk through what the next framework really truly is and talk about how that actually can help you transform your career, because that's really the goal. This is tools. Career Next is tools to help you go to the next level in your career, whatever that might be. Find that next step, take it, etc. So with that said, I am going to hop on over. And like I said, I'm very happy that you're here today. I do appreciate you taking the time to watch this. If you're not here live, if you're watching it recorded, I just appreciate you so much either way. And, for those of you that I haven't met or who haven't gotten to know me yet, I just, again, want to welcome you. And those of you that do know me, thank you so much for all of your support. It truly means so much to me as I go through my own career journey and as a coach. So today we're going to just do the quick welcome, which we just did. We're going to talk about the next framework and really break that acronym down as to what that means and how it pertains to you and your career. And then again, that's the transformation part. And then we're going to just stop for some questions. And like I said, if you are here live, fantastic. If you are here watching this recorded, fantastic. Either way, please go ahead and put your questions in the comments and I will get, you some answers. So I will answer them as we go along. So who am I? My name's Amanda. I own Amanda Herr Coaching, and I have a pretty deep resume, I guess you would say, in the corporate world as well as the entrepreneurial world. So I spent 30 years in advertising. I left as the vice president of advertising sales for CNN, and I decided that at that time that I wanted to become a certified leadership and career coach. So I went to the Institute of Professional Excellence in Coaching, or IPEC, and became certified. And I'm also certified through the International Coaching Federation. So those two certifications I'm very proud of, because that training is a very powerful training and it helps all coaches figure out how to best serve their clients. Over time, I also created a company that was a digital marketing company, and it was called Digital Desk, and ran that very successfully for about 9 years, and then actually sold that off to my niece, which is awesome. And I believe in helping women achieve their career and leadership goals. And like I said, I am the CEO of Amanda Herr Coaching, but I'm also the mother of a very bright and beautiful teenage girl. And I am the maid to two small dogs. And if anyone has followed me thus far, you've probably met one or both of them. And they're Nora and Alice. And they keep me hopping. So I'm sure anyone that's met them can actually attest that I am indeed their maid. So, and you know what? I know it and I don't do anything about it. So I don't know what that says, right? So let's talk about the next framework and how it can help transform your career. So the framework itself actually was created after a decade of coaching women on their own or within their organization, doing research on my own, and also taking what I learned at my 30 years of time in advertising, but also the 17 at CNN. So that's a huge Fortune 500 company, and I got to know a lot of things, and I was trained very, very well there. So that's what helped me create the N.E.X.T framework, hearing and listening intently to my clients, and also taking the experience and the research that I currently have. And my N.E.X.T framework provides solid tools to empower women, and it can also work for men, to transform their careers into their own unique version of success. I think it's a misnomer to think that success is the same for everyone. It's not. What looks like success to me, or feels, I should say, like success to me, may not feel like success to you. And that's okay. We each have our own unique vision of success. So, what the N.E.X.T framework is really developed for is helping you find that and get that. So, what are the 4 pillars that very successful women have used in order to control their careers and not allow their careers to control them? Well, the N in N.E.X.T, right? So we keep asking, what's next? I'm in mid-career. What's next? Well, the N is continue to network. One of the things that happens when we get to a certain level in our career is that we get so busy. Not only are we getting more busy because work is just busier, but we're busier because life is busy. Life gets busy with family and friends, and we have more responsibilities. So it's like when we're done with work, we got to go home and we got to pretty much do more work because we've got the kids, we've got the dinner, we've got the spouse or the partner, we've got, all the stuff, right? So the first thing that goes by the wayside is networking. And that can be a career killer, actually. And I'm not saying that you need to go network at night every single night. You can do networking in a very scheduled or strategic way and continue to get all the things done, right, at work and at home. So let's start by looking at within your company. So networking within your company. All successful women network within their company and then outside their company. But within their company, they do something that's pretty strategic. They actually do what I call compass networking. And they strategically map this out. So it's not like, I think I'll do this next week. It's literally taking their planner and mapping out when they're going to network north. So that's networking with their management, their management's management, etc. So what are my opportunities over the next 90 days to network north? Put those on the calendar. And then they network east and west. I think I got that right. Either way, they network across east, west. Okay. And that means networking with coworkers, but also networking with people who are in the same position, but maybe in a different division. So networking east, west. What are some of the opportunities that I have to network east, west in the next 90 days? Maybe there is a seminar coming up that we'll all be at. How can I use that time wisely? East, west. Put that on the calendar. And then they network south. Okay. They're not like, well, I'm networking with coworkers. No, they're networking south. And they're not networking south thinking they're going to get like something incredible out of that, a raise or whatever. They're networking south because they want to be helpful and of service to those people. But also they don't know, when they network south, what they're going to learn, because these people are coming up. They're probably a little bit younger. They're newer to the corporation. They're seeing things a little bit different. So they're seeing things through different eyes and they're learning things. And then when that person then gets promoted and they become an east-west network, they already have that established. And then when that person maybe comes a north at some point, they've got that relationship established. Now let's talk about networking outside the company. That's also extremely important, because you might think, okay, I got to get to be known within the company, but also getting to be known outside of your company in the same industry at all levels is also important, because you never know when you need to call on one of those connections, either from the standpoint of your career, someone else's career. Maybe you can help them. Maybe they'll think of you the next time they need someone to do something. Maybe you can think of them the next time that you need talent. But you could also learn from them about what they see in the industry, what their corporations are like and what's going on with them. So you're getting that knowledge and that industry knowledge that's not going to be given to you within your company, and you're broadening that conversation. So how do you do that? Well, maybe look next 90 days. Again, where are you going to have the opportunity to interact with people that are in the same industry, but in a different company? So put that on the calendar. And if there isn't one, find one. Maybe talk to your management about going someplace where there's a symposium or some sort of conference where these people might be at, networking outside your industry. This is important and something that many people don't remember to do. Networking outside your industry means going to different networking events. If you're in a local business, maybe you're going to a chamber event, but you're networking outside of your industry to meet people who maybe aren't in your industry. Maybe they're not going to be using your services, but you're getting to be more well known in the overarching area that you're in or the geography that you're in, and you're learning from others. So for us as women, sometimes women in management, we can feel very alone. Like, oh my gosh, I'm dealing with work-life balance, or I'm dealing with a coworker who's very difficult, or I could be dealing with misogynistic tendencies of someone, or whatever it might be. And we feel very alone because we can't have those conversations within the corporation that we're currently in because of the sensitive nature. And we don't necessarily want to go to HR, but we need to talk to someone. If you meet someone outside your industry who can become a member of the quote unquote tribe that helps shore you up and support you, and you can do the same for them, you can take it to them and have a really open conversation and get a third party vision of what's really going on, and that can help you. And, again, and I called it the tribe. So the tribe is, again, becomes a members of what's called the board of directors. So the that personal network isn't necessarily your family. I'm very close to my family, but again, they want only what's best for me, and they're not going to necessarily see it from a business standpoint. So building your board of directors is building a board of people who maybe in other industries. They might be somebody who's in your same industry, but you can trust, whatever it might be. And you build that board of directors, and it's 3 to 4 other people, women that you can go to and you can actually have support from. So those people that you're networking outside your industry could possibly become part of your board of directors or your quote unquote tribe. And you're not networking this, you're going to approach the networking aspect as not like, I have to network. Ugh, I have to go meet someone. Because, honestly, nobody wants to do that. If you're looking at anything like it's just something you have to do, you're not going to want to do it, and you probably won't make the time. Think about it being of service. So if you are someone who likes to be of service, networking can be a great way to do that, because not only are you meeting people that you can help and that you can be of service to, just like they can be of service to you, but you're actually there to have conversations with them and create relationships with them that can be lifelong relationships. And you can also give them insight into what they're dealing with. Everyone's networking for a reason. Let your reason be to be of service, and that will completely change the mindset that you have around networking. And again, this is the one pillar of the 4 pillars that successful women do in order to have control over their career rather than the career controlling them. Think about all the people that you meet when you're networking, and think of all of the possibilities that become created because of the relationships that you've made. And think about the energy that you bring back when you talk to somebody who maybe is really excited about the industry and you were feeling just maybe a little tired by the industry. That could change everything for you. So again, network, it's extremely important, and it's the N in the N.E.X.T framework. So E, educate. So education is key. Okay. There have been times where I have heard people say, I've been doing this for 20 years. I don't need any more training on how to do things. That's not true. Things change. Plus, nobody knows everything. Even though I try to tell my daughter I do, nobody knows everything. Okay. So, continuing to be a lifelong learner is really important. Being open to learning new things, being open to changes within your industry, being open to changes within your company, being open to learn something new. It's extremely important to continue to educate yourself. And you want to take advantage of mentorships when they are offered to you. Now, a mentorship is not coaching. A mentorship is someone who has experience, who can give you advice and to guide you through your time within the company, or it could be a mentor outside of the company. Sometimes people give mentors, or corporations will give a mentor as part of what the employee's benefits are. So you get a mentorship and take advantage of that mentorship. Your mentor, even if your boss is fantastic and they're like the best boss in the world, they aren't necessarily going to be a mentor, like formal, because, and if you view them as mentor, that's great, but get another one as well, because you can't be real necessarily with your boss. If your boss is getting you upset, or if your boss does something that is not um, beneficial to you just because he's got to do whatever management's got to do, you can't complain to him or her. Okay. So you have to have another mentor so that you can go and you can say, my boss did X, Y, or Z, help me understand. Okay. So mentorships are really important. So you want to find somebody who can be a mentor, either, a different division, or even outside your industry or outside your company, but take advantage of the opportunity to get someone and meet with them once a month, not once a quarter, it's once a month, whether that's on Zoom or in person or whatever. And you create strategies together, and your mentor helps keep you accountable to those strategies. It's not a mentorship to grab coffee and talk about the be able to help others to learn. So again, become a mentor, or you can then maybe offer to run a symposium. You can be a speaker at something within the company. You can be a speaker at something for the industry. You want people to know that your door is open if they want to maybe spend time for coffee and you can impart some wisdom. You want to help others. And so as you go up, you want to be taking your arm back and helping others move forward. Look at everything as an opportunity to grow. So if something is something that is a little bit painful or not what you wanted, or it's not aligning necessarily with what you wanted to do, think about it as the opportunity to grow and to learn how to deal with a situation like that. So for instance, if you didn't get a project that you wanted to work on, think of that as an opportunity to learn, what was it that maybe had you not get the project? What were some of the things that you could, work on so that the next time a project comes up, you can get that? Maybe who do you need to get to know in order to find out when projects are coming down the pipeline so that you can position yourself correctly? Always look at things as an opportunity to learn and grow. And like I said, always be a cheerleader for those people that are coming up behind you. And always, always, always look at them as people who are possibly people who are going to lead the company someday, because you don't know where these people are going to lead. So as you are helping them move forward, if you are of service to them and if you are helping them and you're not looking at them as competition, you're not looking at them and trying to find, how you can be better than them and da 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 da. You're literally trying to be of service. That will be of service to you as they move through the company. And also when they're talking to others, they're going to talk about, oh, well, Amanda was really helpful in that. And so then your name becomes out there as well. So again, educate. Don't be afraid to continue to learn. I do want to give you an example of me being not a lifetime learner. I was given the opportunity to actually go and do some training, and I did not take that training, and I to this day wish I would have, because the training was so beneficial and it was sponsored by my company, whereas now if I did that training it would cost me, like 20 grand. So you don't want to be in that spot. You want to take all of what you can get out of where you are and keep that, and know that that's part of your superpower as you take control of your career and move forward. So X, experience. I bet you couldn't figure out what I was going to use the X for, right? So X is for experience. Always be open to new things, even if they're different than the path that you thought you were going to take. Sometimes you may be offered a position in a department that you had no idea that you would even want to be in, but there is a position open or a promotion open there, and they want to look at you for it. Don't say no. Open yourself up. Be open to this possibility, okay? And just figure out, is this for me? Is this something I could be interested in? Not just shut it down right away. Or if there's a lateral move someplace and it's in another division, so you're going to learn more about a different division, don't just shut that down. Don't think, oh, why would they give me the same position in another division? This is just such a lateral move. This is terrible for my career. That's not true. They're looking at you as someone who could possibly learn more about another division, so that in the future, when you're leading in the company, you know all these different divisions. Example, when I was at CNN, they started to cross-pollinate divisions. So CNN people went to TBS, TBS went to CNN, da, 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 so that they had a broader view of Turner, the parent company, overall. And it worked out very well for those people, because then they were known as being stretch. They like to stretch. These people were able to take change. These people wanted to be company players, et cetera, et cetera. And they learned a lot. And some of them actually ended up staying in the divisions that they moved to and going even higher. So again, another pillar is being open to experience. Try new things, be open to change, use your career experience to help you stay engaged. So think about, what have I done in the past that I've really enjoyed in my career? What is it that I'm really good at? What is it that I want more of? Think about, where do you want to be in 3 years? What's the next thing for you? Not what's the next position in your company, not, what's the next promotion that you would get, what's next level that you would be at. It's, what experience do I have that really lit me up, really got me excited? And then figure out how, as you build your career and have control over your career, that you can build more of that in there. If more of that is not available to you where you are, then you need to start asking yourself the question, why am I here? Or can I get some of that here? Or how do I figure out how to build it for myself, or go find it somewhere else? But the part is, you are not just sitting back and waiting for things to happen. You are actively taking a part in your own career path. You are in control, and you're using your experience to do that. And the T for team. So you want to be a vital member of your team and open to input from others. If you're getting constructive criticism on something, be open to it, listen to it, see where it could fit. Do not shut down, and be able to give constructive criticism to others as well. That's how strong teams are built. You want to create a team around you that shores up where you may not be as strong. So if I'm not as good at accounting as I am at speaking, then I want to make sure that I'm the figurehead, and that Joe, who's great at accounting, comes in and takes care of the accounting piece. And that way, I'm not over here trying to figure out accounting and not doing a great job. I'm over here moving the team forward by being a speaker. And I'm not thinking like, oh God, Joe's better at this than me. I'm thinking, awesome. Here you go, Joe. They love it. And I'm over here loving it. So the team's going to love it. And you can find a team, like I said, your board internally at your company. Find a board or a team that you can trust to bounce different ideas off of. and make sure that, before you press forward, what you're thinking actually works the best for the entire team. Be open to praise for others. So, for instance, if someone tells Joe that they're doing a fantastic job at accounting, that's great. And then you want to also let Joe that they're doing a great job on the accounting. You want to openly tell people what you think of their work when it's good. So if you see Nancy and Nancy's doing or did a fantastic job at a speech, tell Nancy that she's done a great job. If you see someone else that's done a great job, even if it's, if it's the janitor, let the janitor know that they're doing a great job. If your boss does something really well, say, you know what, that was really great. I'm learning so much from you. I really enjoyed that. Be open with praise, because when you're open with your praise, people really love not only to hear that they're doing a good job, but they love to hear it from you, and they get to know you as somebody who is really caring and isn't like afraid to give the praise, but also isn't in competition. I think especially in sales organizations, but in corporations, sometimes you get a lot of that competition. And even if you don't think you're in competition, you hold back on giving praise because you're somehow afraid that if you tell someone they did a good job, that means that you aren't doing a good job. And that's not true. So you want to be the person who's open with that. And you want to promote your team to management, but you always want to remember that you're part of that team. So what I mean by that is we're always told that there is no I in team. And there isn't an I in team until there is an I in team. An example, I was not very good at this. I was always giving praise or telling management about how wonderful my team was, but I wasn't sharing my role within that. So I was in an elevator one time, and our executive vice president, and it literally was an elevator pitch. I mean, it's just so cheesy, but he comes in and he's like, "Hey, Amanda, it's good to see you." And he said, "How are you doing in Detroit?" Because we were in New York. And I said, first of all, I didn't prepare anything, which I should have. But I was like, "Oh, my team's doing great." Told them all about my team, highlighted people on my team. But what I forgot to do was tell him how I led the team. Or, how when we worked together, we were able to do X, or anything like that. I could have said, well, I know I'm really quite good at speaking. And I know that, Mike doesn't like to get up in front of a group. So we went ahead and I let Mike take the detail, and he's great at that. And then I worked on the actual speech. So when he was done, I was able to bring that to life. And the information he gave me made it the best speech I've ever given. And people just loved it. And we were able to close business, whatever. Right. But I was in that story. Whereas before I was not in the story, and Mike just did a really good job at putting the presentation together. And I just forgot to tell him my part. So you're not boasting about yourself. You're still talking about your team, but you got to make sure that you're in there too. Like if you're the manager, just the success of your team doesn't speak for itself. We forget that management isn't like watching us day in and day out, especially like us. We were in Detroit, they were in New York. We have to remember that we need to highlight everyone on the team, including ourselves. Okay, so that's the N for network. Make sure you're networking. These are the 4 pillars that are going to help you empower yourself to take control of your career and take it to the next level. Take it to the promotion, or take it to, you know what, I want to try something new and I want to be an entrepreneur. Networking still plays a role, my friend. In fact, it's going to play even more of a role for you if you're going to start your own company. Educate. Don't forget to always be a lifetime learner. You will never know everything. Okay. Don't tell my daughter, you will never know everything. So continue to educate yourself, whether that's within your company, your industry, or if you're going to leave and do something on your own, you need to educate yourself about business and how to create it, and also the steps and the strategic manner of it. Experience. Use your experience as a catapult to the next level. Also, be open to other experiences. Be open to new experiences. Do not be that person that says, no, sorry, that's a different division. I don't want to try it. Or no, sorry, I don't want to go try this new software. Make sure that you are open to experiences, because not only does that position you well, but it also is going to give you that knowledge so that you control, like I said, your career. And team. Praise your team. Let your team know they're doing a good job. Build a strong team. Shore yourself up with a team that can actually kind of plug the holes of where you're not as strong. But always remember that there is an I in team, that you are in that team, and that you need to promote yourself within the team. Okay? So when you're talking about the team, make sure you're part of that conversation. So I'm just going to check and see if there are any questions. Okay, I don't see any questions. Okay, so if you are watching this live, thank you so much for joining me live, and I truly appreciate your time. If you're watching this recorded, again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and as a recording. And please make sure to put your comments in the comment area, and I will answer your comments. And remember, you can always reach out to me at amandahercoaching.com. I would love to hear from you. Join my Facebook group if you haven't. It's called Her Success. It's the Facebook group, so it's right there. It's called Her Success. And follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn. And also, connect to me on my personal LinkedIn, please. So find me under Amanda Her, my personal LinkedIn. I would love to connect with you. I'm also looking for speaking engagements. So if you have any symposiums or groups that you need a speaker for, please, I'm booking for 2023. So I would love to talk to you about that. And, I really just appreciate you taking the time to watch this. I hope you found this very helpful. And I do this every Friday at 12:15, unless I let you know otherwise. So I will see you next week when we talk about the ways to fall in love with your career. Maybe because it was Valentine's Day next week, I got into that. But yeah, so we're going to talk about the ways that you can fall in love with your career. So with that, I just want to again say thanks. Have a great weekend. I hope you're doing something fun, and I will talk to you next week. Bye, everybody.